Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Winchester Football Weekly. I'm your host, Patrick Gill, and this is my co-host, Jay Gill. I'd like to welcome you to our third week. This week we have in studio the Winchester High School captains Ken Karate and Lars Zandberg. Also, the Where Are They Now segment, we have the freshman coaches. Tommy Nolan was class of 2005. Mark Anisi was class of 2006. So this is their first year coaching, so we're going to have them come up and talk about their experience as well. This particular week, we have the Glorious Pizza Athletes of the Week. From the Winchester High School is Colin Martin. From the Sachem's Youth Football and Cheering is Matthew Carr. And from the Winchester Pop Warner is J.J. Tolentino. First of all, I'll try to recap. It was a full schedule this week between the high school, middle school, and Pop Warner football. So I'm going to kind of go over those scores a little bit now. Winchester lost to Melrose 31-6 last Friday afternoon. But they did, I know they showed some marked improvement. At halftime, it was 17-6. And if it wasn't for a couple of turnovers, it would have been a much different outcome. But a touchdown pass from Timmy Mangano to Seamus Cassidy it was set up by a big interception by Colin Martin, who we'll have here tonight. Joe Nategi had a 50-yard run. Stefan Zanzerberg made a big fourth down catch. And defensively, one of our guests tonight, Lars Zanzberg, played extremely well at defensive end. The Winchester High School football freshmen played their first game against Melrose. And we have those two coaches here tonight, but they won their game 6-0. Parker Carey scored the only touchdown of the game. Parker Carey, Michael Grassi, Davis Clark, Ryan Kelly all had great games for the freshman team. I was at that game, and it was, even though the score was 6-0, it was one of the most exciting games I've seen in a long time. A lot of passing. Sachem's Youth Football and Cheering, they were underway this past week as well. On Wednesday, the Winchester Sachem's Youth Football Red Team was 1-0. They beat Bedford 34-12. The offense was fueled by a strong running game led by Adam Johnson, Tim Murray, Matt Ficillo, Jesse St. Jean, Sam Casey, and Adam Johnson had 3 touchdowns on the day. On Saturday, September 17th, Winchester Sachem's Youth Football Black, which is also 1-0, they beat Melrose 35-14. Zach Geddes had over 100 yards rushing, and he had three TDs to lead the Sachems to a win. Getting into the Pop Warner, the E team, which has shown some great football. Those are the younger kids, to remind you guys, about third and fourth graders. They had their second win in a row. They scored 4 unanswered touchdowns and shutting out Melrose. Melrose took a beating this particular week. The defense was led by extraordinary effort from Patrick Dooley, who led the team in tackles. The offense had a number of standouts, include Jacob Flores, Brady Martin, Henry Kraft, William Westerfield also scored touchdowns. The D Black, they suffered their first loss against a very strong Billerica team, 26-0. The D Black defensively actually played very well against an older, more experienced Billerica team. Zach Tucci had a couple of sacks and forced a fumble for Winchester. The D Red, their record is 1-1. The D Red team came out and shut out Melrose 21-0, fueled by great defense, a touchdown run, and several nice passes and completions by quarterback Colin Bergstrom. He obviously gets all of his talents from his mother. A perfect 30-yard touchdown pass from Jake Mabardi to Charlie Nowell, another kid that gets all of his talents from his mother. And basically a strong performance from cornerback and tailback Michael Buongiorno, who led the team in rushing and had a nice 15-yard touchdown run. The C Black, they're 0-2. That again is the 5th and 6th graders, but Liam Fitzpatrick led the way on offense, while Francis Dooley, another Dooley, was one of several key defensive standouts for C Black team, which faced one of the top C teams in Eastern Massachusetts. So they fell to Triton 26-0, and it's nice to let people know when you play Triton, it's an area school, so they're picking from 2 and 3 different towns, so they're usually notoriously very strong teams. So that's actually a pretty good showing by Winchester there. And the C Red lost a close game, 14-12 to Melrose, after staging a dramatic comeback inspired by some spectacular plays by C.J. Wallace and Sam Curtin, and an incredible second half offensive surge featuring 2 touchdowns and a punt return by one and only J.J. Tolentino, who we're going to have up on stage, so I'm pretty happy to have him here tonight. One note that I do want to bring to attention, and I think it's important too, that with the high school program, there's been talk about the JV program. So this is the best way to kind of sum it up and try to explain what's going on there. Obviously, the high school is very concerned with safety in all aspects of football. They have a varsity team, they do have a JV team, and they have a freshman team this year. There was talk or rumored to be canceling the JV schedule, which is not true. What they have done, because of safety reasons and the health of only 9 linemen, they had to cancel their first 2 games. They do plan to play that schedule. Further down the road, Stoneham has canceled their schedule because they don't have enough kids. But there will be a JV season. We wanted to get that out there so those kids aren't getting discouraged. I was talking to some of these coaches who have played over the years, and your sophomore year in high school can be a little bit tricky. Jay, you can expand upon that a little bit better, that you really don't, it's kind of purgatory.
Yeah, it's one of those things is when you come out as freshmen, we play everyone at that level. Then when your sophomore year, it's the in-between years between freshman and JV, and you do a lot of the practice, the look team, and you do play JV, but it's a hard scenario at that stage of your career because you're in between playing at the JV level. One of the things is when you have numbers, the freshman team last year, there was only probably like 11 kids that played, so it's hard to have a JV team when these kids move up to sophomore when you have those numbers. So I think that's something that maybe had a cause of why they had to do that.
Well, the good thing is once some of these linemen get healthier, there will be a JV program and a season. So I know some of these kids already play on special teams for the varsity, but we want to make sure that parents out there who are watching this program understand that their kids will be playing a schedule. So that being said, I want to move on to our in-house guests here, we're fortunate enough to have the high school captains, Ken Karate and Lars Zamberg here to my right. Being captain, especially nowadays, it does mean a little bit more than it used to. There's a lot the kids have to take on. There's been a lot of changes. These guys have had to deal with, they played 3 years for a coach, and they come in their senior year, and they have a coaching change. So it was a good time to bring them in and kind of ask them about their experience. One of the questions I'm going to ask first of both of you is tell us about your football experience. Okay, the closest to me is Lars, and Ken Karate is in between Lars and my brother. But Lars, why don't you tell us about your background as far as youth football up until your high school experience and becoming captain?
Okay, well, I started playing football, Woburn Pop Warner. I played for about a year. I didn't finish the year because I didn't like it as much. But
that's good.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't really like it, and so I stopped for a little while. I played soccer goalie. I just wasn't really into it. So when I came to Winchester in 8th grade, I went on the SYFC team with Coach Mayonar over there, and it was a lot of fun. So I just kept with it throughout high school, freshman, sophomore year, just steadily getting more looks at the varsity level. So, and then just brought me to where I am today, just working as hard as I can.
Great. Now, Ken, tell us about your background.
I started playing Pop Warner 4th, 5th grade in Woburn. And,
Who was your coaches?
I was always on the C team. I had Coach Curtis,
Oh, okay, yeah,
and
still there.
then in 7th grade, Coach Mango started the middle school SYFC team, and so I played that 7th and 8th grade, and then went to high school, and I just liked football more and more each year I played.
Sure. What I am curious about is, a little bit about what it entails to be captain. Some of these people out here, what does that mean? I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, but what are your duties? Is it to keep the team together? Is it to convey messages from a coaching staff down to the kids? Is it you getting involved with the freshmen? Tell me about it.
Basically, it is all of those. Like, just rallying the team. Like, you're basically watching. It's like being a mom and a dad, basically, for a whole football team. It's really it's tiring, and you just go through the paces and practice as well as you can without getting into any distractions throughout practice. Just keeping everyone in line and doing the drills as hard as I can. So,
Ken, he talked about kind of managing the teammates, and that's they are your peers, but you also have to maybe try to take control when a situation doesn't go as well. How do you handle that? How do you handle with your teammates that are when something does go wrong? How do you go about handling it? Do you have to talk to the coach about it? Do you just talk to the kids?
I always just talk to them and say, this is the way you're supposed to do it, and let's do it that way, and just keep everybody in line. It doesn't have to be a big deal, but just make sure they know how it's supposed to go, and that's how it goes.
Yeah. One question I have is, you guys both played 3 years at the high school under Coach Sobolewski, and then your senior year you come in and there's a coaching change. I'm curious to, what was that like? I'm not asking you to compare coaches by any means, but what I am looking for is, was it a big adjustment? Was offensively, did they have two different philosophies? Defense, was it a different scheme? Was it a difficult thing to deal with? Go ahead, Lars.
It's definitely both coaches are definitely different, and we definitely had to get used to it. It took us many weeks practicing during the summer and before the season started, and we're still getting used to it to this
Right.
day. And I like it a lot. It's just something new. We don't really have to, Kenny and I, we just keep going 100%.
Right.
That's all we know. That's all we've been taught. So.
All right, now Ken, you're in your senior year. What's the best advice you can give Matthew Carr, who's going to be coming to the high school next year, about football? Maybe if you could do one thing differently, maybe it's lifting, maybe it's whatever it is. What is the one thing that you'd want to tell him to give him advice to have him go through his high school? Maybe it's just enjoy it. I don't know, but what do you think?
Yeah, well, definitely enjoy it. You only get a certain amount of years to play. Maybe you're lucky enough, good enough athlete to go play college ball, but you're guaranteed 4 years of high school football and all your Pop Warner middle school football, and enjoy it. And also get everybody lifting year round. It really makes a big deal for a team, and you're a lot better if you have a lot of kids in a summer lifting program, or you play other sports, but you're doing stuff as a team year round. It helps a lot.
All right. Both of you had your fathers played. Lars, your father played at UNH,
Yep.
and Ken, did your dad play at Harvard?
Yeah, he did.
He did. What's the best advice your parents have given you in regard to football?
Never give up. Just do the best you can in every drill, basically. My dad's just grounded into my head since I was a child, basically. Just to everything I don't know how to explain it. He has his own way of just long talks, 30-minute to 40-minute talks of just, this is how it is. This is how you're gonna this is what's gonna happen. Just encouragement is the best thing best way how to say it.
What about you?
Yeah, my dad he always said just enjoy it, and he said he has bags, and he'd take me out in the backyard and show me how to block and have me block him. So.
Do they both after games kind of sit down with you? You should have done this,
Yeah.
should have done that.
Yeah, I always
Yeah,
have one
but-
missed call waiting for me in the locker room. Just call me. I want to know how what the coach said, how you guys are doing.
We all had to go through that. We all had to go through that.
Absolutely. Well, I know you guys are busy and you have homework to do, but I do appreciate your time. I know you guys have a tight schedule as it is, so I appreciate you coming down.
Thank you
this
very
I'd
much.
like to have you back
very
before
much.
Thanksgiving, too.
Yes.
We're going to have you back.
No
We
problem.
are going to have you back on before the
Thank you very
Thanksgiving to talk about that game. Okay. Going forward, what we have next is the Where Are They Now segment, and we're going to have Tommy Nolan and Mark Anisi come up. And again, Tommy Nolan, he played fullback and defensive end for Winchester High School. He attended 2 years at Merrimack College, played football until he transferred to Arizona State, where he played rugby. Became smart. That was a good decision. He works as safety and health supervisor for Welsh Corporation in Brighton now. Also, we have Mark Anisi, Winchester High School. Anesi, sorry, I apologize. All right, you can whack me later. Played linebacker for Winchester High School, attended Suffolk University, where he played baseball and took part in the Marine Corps Officer Candidate Schools after his freshman year. He works with his family business, Bomis Specialty, Inc. So I'm glad that both of you guys were able to take the time to
Thanks
come
for having
on.
us.
What I'd like to start off, as I always do, is kind of tell us about your experience through Pop Warner up until where you are here now, playing football, coaching football. But Tom, I'll start with you.
Okay, I started playing D team Pop Warner in Woburn. I went up through the ranks. Coach Tarby and Mark also played, and then my freshman coach was Jay Gill.
His
And,
best coach you ever had?
Jay Gill and Coach Bellino.
Coach Bellino.
And then I also had Coach Manganaro with the varsity and Coach Donahue. And then I played a few years at Merrimack and about rounds it out.
Mark, what about yourself?
I started at the E team actually when I played about 7 years in Woburn, and went up through the ranks there, and those were the best days. Minus freshman year, but those days were rough. There were no injuries, there were no days off. They were there to play ball.
Right.
And that's how some of the guys that we came up with who played with us, who came to high school to play with us, got their football scheme. They could all play when they came to high school, and that's why we were, a well-developed freshman team.
Right.
We went 8-1, I believe, my freshman year. So,
Really?
yeah, and we played all up through with Tommy. Me and Tommy were linebackers 1 year together on the same D, and finished out my football career at Winchester High.
So that's one huge advantage that the kids have now. Growing up, I mean, Mark and I, we were a handful of kids that played Woburn Pop Warner at any previous experience. Now coaching the freshmen, we said if anyone played before, and 30 kids raised their hand because they all play in the Winchester Youth Program.
Right.
So.
And it makes a big difference, with comfort level and learning some of the basics anyway.
Right.
You guys are now the first year freshman coaches. Tommy, you do the offense, you do the defense, Mark, right? Okay. Why don't you both of you give me your first impressions of that whole situation, because it's not easy. I mean, I coach a D team. I can't imagine stepping in and saying, okay, I'm going to coach a bunch of 14-year-olds.
Right.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Well, based off the game the other day, I was pleasantly surprised. I talked to the Melrose coaches after, and they've had a few scrimmages. They've played a few games and whatnot, so we didn't know how we matched up against anyone. But we threw the ball a lot, and it's confusing because we're running the varsity's offense, but it's a dumbed down version of it so that the freshmen can get it. But the idea is that by the time they get to the varsity level, they're already ready to go. They know the terminology, they know everything. So.
Knowing those kids as much as I do, even up at the varsity, they're going to have to dumb it down.
Right.
They really will. Talk about the defense, because watching, there was some blitzes that I saw during that game, and
that's actually funny. We were on defense the entire first quarter.
Right.
And the first play of defense, I was a little nervous. I was more nervous than some of these kids out there. And one of my friends, Julian Land, came down to help out with everyone. And I was talking to him. I was like, what should we do this first play? Should we stay base and just let it ride? And he's like, yeah, just be normal, let it go. I blitzed everybody. I sent the house. And it worked out, so it was good. And you get into your rhythm with the defense, and those kids, very happy with how they hit. They were hitting left and right out there. There's a few good sticks that you saw too as well. You were there. Our quarterbacks did great. Everyone did a good job.
Parker Carey had a hit that I'm still thinking about.
Yeah, Parker Carey's just a little bulldog. He just gets his nose in everything, and everything he does is hard. So it's nice.
Now, what has surprised you about coaching that you didn't expect, or you know, maybe something you did expect. Maybe the kids are in shape, they're not in shape. You know, what has surprised you, Tom?
I guess I forgot how much energy we had when we were 15.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah. I'm sympathetic to you.
Yeah.
Because showing up now.
Now we know.
Yeah, now we know.
But no, they're all great kids, and like I said before, it's great that they've had the experience of youth football, and we didn't, you know, going into this game, the fact that they had never, you know, played a scrimmage or anything, we didn't know what to expect, but you know, they showed like they've, you know, been doing it for 10 games. So.
Yeah, no.
How quick is the game? I mean, isn't it being a coach now and trying to get all the players in? How quick a football game can be, isn't it?
It's very quick.
Yeah.
And that's one thing we were worried about with controlling the game and controlling the sidelines with only Tommy and I.
Yeah.
But all the kids stayed in line. They were great. That was a non-issue at the last game, so we're kind of hoping that carries over.
Yeah, it was great. As I said earlier in the TV show, you know, last year we didn't have a freshman team, and we only had like 11 players. How many players do we have this year?
31. I think 31 right now. So.
What do you two think it does for a program having, you know, 31 players coming out for freshmen? And do you feel having these players and coming up and building a program, do you think it's important to have these type of numbers?
Yeah, we've freshman years. All the freshmen that come out, they're basically the most important part of a program. It's with no freshmen, there's no future.
Correct.
And we have luckily 31. Last year there was 11.
That's great.
And we're hoping in the near future, 4 or 5 years down the road, to have over 100 kids in the program. And that all starts with what Coach Mango's doing down at the youth and the freshman teams.
And you got the Papuana now, as you see these 3 helmets.
Yeah.
Everyone comes on here and talks about whooping Papuana. Well, that's not going to happen anymore, 'cause now we have Winchester
wish we had
Papuana.
that.
Right,
Yeah,
which
too.
is great.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they have 120 kids playing football in Winchester Papuana right
Yeah.
now.
Wow.
And, you know, the coaching staff is all working on the same, trying to be on the same program, running the same type of offense and defenses. So, you know, when you get them up at the, you know, when Coach Mango gets them and you guys get them, that they have the basics down, which does elevate your ability to coach, opposed to putting them in a stance and seeing if they could figure that out. I know you're going to do that anyway, because some kids are going to play for the first time. But what are your expectations for your freshman team? What do you think can happen? I mean, you looked at them. You've been with them every day.
Well, we'll see. I mean, you know, wins or losses, whatever. I just want them to play hard, you know. I mean, we always tell them, if you're going to make a mistake, we won't yell at you as long as you do it 100%.
Right.
So.
Now, one thing I can imagine with the 31 kids, that you have kids competing every day at practice. Where if there was only 10, how hard do you have to work? You're going to play anyway.
Yeah.
You know. So is that the case? Do you see that at practice?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the big things with that we have to do a better job at is getting more people in the game. And the freshmen, our goal is to let the kids have fun, go out, play football, and everyone get in the game. And you know, sometimes that competitive edge gets you to even the coaches, and you want to win.
Sure.
You know, so it's hard to get some other people in, but having the kids work hard at practice and making them learn that to get in the game, you have to work hard. Right. You can't be running around, walking around, doing nothing at practice and not getting the game. Getting the game, excuse me. But getting those young kids in the game and just a feel for it, the quickness, the speed, what it's like to get hit, what it's like to run.
Right.
You know, that's all important to us.
Well, you know, in the defense of what you were just talking about, when you go on defense, they have a kind of a long run, but then you stop them, and then your first play, there's a turnover, and then you're back on defense.
Exactly.
It kind of throws your plan to get everybody out the window. I mean, it happens in youth. We have a play sheet, every kid's got to play, depending on the number of kids, 8, 12 plays, and that can be difficult. But you know, we do appreciate you coming out. It's great to see you guys. We love the fact that, you know, it's alumni coming back. You know, they understand what you guys understand what it means to play and put that shirt on. And speaking from the kids' point of view, because I've asked their opinion of you guys as well. You know, and they have a lot. They enjoy playing because you guys have the history, and you have the intensity that they're looking for. So it's actually a lot of fun for them. So it's working out for everybody. So appreciate you coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
You know, and we're going to have you back. You know, as the year goes on, we'd like to have everyone back and just kind of, especially before the Thanksgiving Day games.
Great.
Absolutely.
Thanks a
You
lot.
come for turkey.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Mark. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Moving on to the next segment we have here. Come on up, boys. We have the Gloria's Pizza Athletes of the Week. And again, we have Colin Martin from Winchester High School, Matt Carr from the Sachem's Youth Football and Cheering, and J.J. Tolentino, who personally I've had the pleasure of coaching as well. So, and Matt Carr, I've coached both of them up in Woburn. So it's exciting to see them here and how much Matt has grown. I just want to, Matt, I'm going to start with you. Can you take your father? Can you beat him up yet?
Maybe.
Oh, I think you
I think you can.
I think you could.
My money is on you, all right? And any time that he gives you a hard time, just push him up against the wall. And just say, Dad, your days are done. Your days are numbered. No, I played with Matt's dad in Winchester, so I want to have a lot of fun with him. I'm going to start off with each one, and I'm going to start with Colin first. Kind of give me your experience with football from Pop Warner or whatever you played all the way up.
Well, I started with Mango in 7th grade. Actually, the first year he had the program. Just learning how to play football. I hadn't ever played before, and played all the way up through my junior year with the Sobolewski crew.
Yep.
And then I actually didn't know if I was going to play again this year. And Kenny over there was kind of relentless in telling me like, why are you even considering quitting your senior year? And now that I've gotten in the program and stuff, I just couldn't thank him more for keeping me in it.
That's a big part of high school athletics is just kids convincing each other to come out and play and having a little bit of fun with it, because that's really for 95% of the kids it ends in high school. So you might as well enjoy it. So Matt, tell me about your experience. You started off in Woburn.
Yeah, I started off on the E's when my dad coached with Mr. Murray and all them.
Yeah.
And then now I play for Coach Mango.
What position you play?
Offensive and defense tackle.
No surprise there. And down the end there is one of the kids I have spent some time with, J.J. Tolentino. He actually played with me up at Woburn on the D team a little bit last year and the year before. He played for me as a guard first year against his will, but he knew, talking about a kid that just does the right thing, he knew it was best for the team, so he did it, which I give him a lot of credit for, and he never said a word. He just went and did it. But tell me about your experience so far with Woburn and now Winchester Pop Warner.
Yeah, well, I started in E's in Woburn, and then I was there for 4 years, going through the E's and then through the D's with you and the other coaches.
Yeah, Coach Ferrone and Coach Giglio.
Yeah, and now I'm with and now I'm in the C's with my former E coach, Coach Scalaro. So it's a complete cycle.
Which is great. Now, Colin, what position do you play?
Cornerback.
Cornerback. And you've had a couple of games.
Yep.
What's the toughest thing you've had to adjust to in the last 2 games?
Just learning how to bounce back the next week and hit it full speed again, and just get right back into it after a big loss.
Have you gotten burned by a long pass yet?
No.
Yeah, there you go. That's all that matters. Now, Matt, you're playing tackle. How is it to deal with, you're playing with kids that are probably a little bit smaller. Do you get called for a lot of penalties because of your size?
Not really.
No? All right. And JJ, what's the best thing you've learned about playing youth football or Pop Warner football? What's the best thing you can take away from it?
Well, the best thing I can take away from it is probably how much they've taught me about being a leader, from starting in the E's and going up to now, and
No. First of all, you guys get to go to Gloria's Pizza.
Yeah, Gloria Pizzas are